Hello friends! Today we shall study an interview named The Treasure Within. This follows the life of an accomplished person who faced a number of setbacks in his life before he could finally make a mark in the world. It is called The Treasure Within since sometimes we need time to find the gems of talent hidden within us or within others. This chapter is in the form of a recorded conversation between Miss Bela Raja and a leading architect from India, Mr. Hafeez Contractor. In this piece, Miss Raja is interviewing Mr. Hafeez Contractor. Miss Raja is the editor of Sparsh, a newsletter from the Resource Center of the Valley School in Bangalore. So why is this interview important? Any interview is actually a series of questions you can ask a person who is usually a famous personality to know more about their lives. Interviews are important for us to learn from famous and successful people and what they did to follow and achieve their goals. We get to know so many interesting things about other people, and we can even learn some extremely important habits from them. They help us grow and develop into successful people ourselves. Hafeez Contractor, born in 1950, has designed many acclaimed buildings and skyscrapers in India, especially in Mumbai. Imperial Towers Mumbai, 23 Marina Dubai, BITS Pilani, KK Birla Goa Campus, Infosys GC and STB for Mysore, ICICI Headquarters Hyderabad, the 42 Kolkata are some of the buildings designed by him. The Government of India awarded him the Padma Bhushan in January 2016 for his important contributions to the field of architecture. Let us now try to follow the interview. The interviewer is Bela Raja with initials BR and the interviewee is Hafeez Contractor with initials HC. We know it is an excerpt from a longer interview since it begins with HC directly talking of the problems he faced in school. Apparently, Hafeez had nightmares of failing a mathematics exam even 4 or 5 years ago. He then gives us a long account of his school days, of how he lost interest in syllabus-oriented studies since the 3rd standard. Prior to that, he was a good student. Interest in sports and games shadowed Hafeez's interest in studies. He reveals that he tried unfair means like copying to pass his exams. He also tried to lay his hands on the question paper before the exams. Hafeez recalls how in his 11th standard, his principal called him and talked to him for 5 minutes. During the conversation, the principal asked him to take his studies seriously and not waste time anymore. Hafeez was interested in sports, having been the senior champion and cricket captain of his school team. However, the conversation he had with the principal affected him and he started studying, ignoring sports for the time being. He passed SSC with 50% marks. As you can tell, Hafeez scored very average marks, but the principal warmly congratulated him. He must have thought that congratulating Hafeez was the best way to encourage him. In reality, he discouraged Hafeez from setting higher goals for himself. He almost came to believe that he would remain mediocre all through his life. Hafeez Contractor says that he was unable to remember things unless he visualized the content like a picture. Till a few years back, people were not aware of the different learning styles or abilities of students, blaming some children when they could not get good marks in school. Neil Fleming developed the work learning styles theory in 1987 to identify which learning style is best suited for an individual. Work stands for visual, oral, read, write, and kinesthetic. Bela Raja tries to find out if the teachers induced a low self-esteem in Hafeez through punishments and criticism. Hafeez seems to have been as forgetful about the punishments as the books he studied. He was a prankster who loved distracting his fellow students by involving them in chore police games. He saved money by skipping lunch, collected money from 40 to 50 students and bought tickets for Sunday movies. On his way home, he ate voraciously. Hafeez also recalls how he was the leader of a gang which planned strategies and had gang fights. Now we come to the second section of the interview. Section 2 starts with BR asking HC how he chose the field of architecture as his career. Hafeez provides a long account of how his choice was unplanned. He remembers how he went to his cousin's office to learn French. Her husband was an architect. He identified Hafeez's talent for architecture and decided to take him to an architecture school for an entrance exam. Hafeez stood first in the entrance examination without having any previous knowledge of architecture as a subject. He says his achievements are due to the forts, guns and ammunitions he designed with his school friend Behram Divecha. Hafeez also mentions a few subjects in the school curriculum which he found especially difficult. He would struggle with the languages and mathematics. He found the sciences and geography easier. He felt there was no room for application of the knowledge acquired from his classes. The examination system was also different from what it is today. There were no weekly tests to check the progress of a student. Besides, there was ample scope to copy material and pass tests. Thus, students could trick the teacher into believing that they had actually studied for the test. Bela Raja wonders if Hafeez fits the prototype of a gifted individual with learning disability. Hafeez then points out that the class toppers from his school are stuck in ordinary jobs. He mentions more instances of how his personality was shaped by his different and strange interests. He picked up skills by applying his mind to elements beyond the syllabus. He became occupied with the thought of blocking the flowing rainwater by building a dam on rainy days. Similarly, he found a way to make buttons from chalks, a solution which was very popular with every child who keeps losing buttons. His street smartness as a child was what made him later understand the needs of a client. He studies the body language of people and correctly guesses their manners, tastes and habits. He has developed a unique perspective by borrowing ideas from the fields of design, construction, psychology and sociology. He calls the final sketch integrated from all these fields mathematics. No wonder Hafeez Contractor has achieved extraordinary success. Hafeez, with his specialized knowledge and an interdisciplinary approach, is currently famous all over the world. Interdisciplinary means combining different subjects. Hafeez Contractor's method of combining various subjects hints at that approach. You could find out more on what interdisciplinary studies and what people are doing with it. That is all for today. Hope you have enjoyed this lesson and it inspired you to overcome your shortcomings. See you all in our recap and Q&A videos.